Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Batman the Animated Series miniature game unboxing. This is for all the stretch goals and exclusives from the Kickstarter campaign. So we're going to have a bunch of new heroes and villains and other little components that were only available that way. They might... you might be able to find this box here or there. Out in the wilderness. But if not, here at least you're going to know what you're going to get. So if you decide you might want it, you're at least going to be able to see what's in the box. Here's just a thing showing where all the characters go. We got more episode guides. So there's a bunch of different new episodes. Excuse me. Preload to the Two-Face Act, Act 1, Act 2, plus a bonus Act 3, which is actually a revision of the original Two-Face in the base set. A Demon's Quest, so stuff like Ra's al Ghul, Make 'em Laugh, there's some of the odd characters, a Harley and Ivy episode, and a Girls' Night Out episode. And they're going to be just laid out like all the rest of them. Telling you who to use here, who to use there, the different maps. So I'm not going to spend too much time looking through each of those. Then some more concept art. Same thing you get in all the other scenario guides. A couple other cool things you're going to get in here is you get 8 of these boards. They made use of the Ninja Turtle game as well, and they're actually really helpful for playing. Are they needed? Absolutely not. You can play the game without them. But what the idea of it is so for example, I'm playing Harvey Bullock. I can put my character card right there, and then when I have my dice, which his are, I believe, this one here, the gray and brown. So then what you do is you start the game off as either active or used. And then that way you kind of keep track of whether, I've done my 2 range, I can move this down, now I know it's been used. A little bit darker shades on the outside for the dice you share. And then you put your character cards over here, so you can have like your stack of unused cards here. So you can maybe have them face down, just so you're not paying attention to them. And then like your active card over here. Or if you have multiple active cards, you can have 2 of them out. And it's just to help kind of, keep everything a little bit more organized. Again, is it necessary? Absolutely not. But it's really neat. And they actually give you 8 in here, which is really cool. So that way you could have a bunch more. I mean, I think the highest count they even have for players is up to 5 players, like 1 player being a villain, but the villain wouldn't really need this anyhow. But that's fine. Extras are always acceptable. Speaking of dice, we have all the different dice here for new characters. So you have like the white one, gray ones, purple ones, yellow ones. We have some gray and blue, some blue and black. So it's like we have 6 new characters in this set. Plus, they gave another full set of battle dice. Which is, again, is it needed? No. But if you're playing with you're playing a couple people, even someone playing villain, someone playing hero, or you're even playing just a 4-player game of cooperative, it's kind of nice to have one set of dice on one side of the table, one on the other, with the occasional time of you having to be like, hey, I need 2 more dice, toss them over. But it keeps you from having to constantly keep rotating the dice around the table. So again, one of those things that's not necessary, but it was a cool little addition. And then we have some token boards. So you have sauce tokens, which go with one of the villains in this set. And then they have these health dials, which they made. So you put tokens on there. So then we're going to have this one. So we're also going to have a Muggsy and Rhino token for the ventriloquist, as well as some charge tokens for Livewire. And then here are the rest of the tokens for the characters. So like, I'm just going to pop one of these out quick so we can see what they, a little bit better of what they do. So it puts it on there, and you just got your health tracker up to 20, so you can count it down. Versus using all the little tiny health chips they have, which is like 1s and 5s, and you have to keep pulling them off. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's tiny. You have another 8 for this. The only thing that's a little bit odd or different about this than the Ninja Turtles game was the Ninja Turtles had like a cool looking pizza for all the turtle characters, and then it had like a gross looking disgusting pizza for the villain characters. Is it really needed? No, but it was kind of neat that they had different ones for each side, versus just 8 generic ones. But I'm not going to complain, because health dials were actually really helpful versus having a bunch of extra tokens. Alright, so I'm going to flip this up a bit so we can look at the maps. So we have, and now this is really weird. So this is basically, I'm assuming this is the Batcave. There's like a computer, which like maybe some tire treads for like the Batmobile to run out. There's the giant penny. Some battle damage, there's a giant hole there, some gadgets. And I commented on this in one of the other videos about how there wasn't a lot of extra detail in these compared to like the Ninja Turtles. And I don't know if they pulled detail off of stuff to keep the focus away, but even still like on the walls and stuff. But like, if it wasn't for literally this giant penny and the Batman stuff, I wouldn't know this is supposed to be the Batcave. I would assume this is like a theater stage or just like a darkly lit computer room. Yeah, so I kind of wish there's a little bit more detail on these. Here's another street though. The other one just has a side one going off. Just kind of nice to have a little bit more street stuff. So here we have another street with here some cars already out there. They just actually enters though into a building. It's like right on the street. There's some pillars there. You can come in this building. There's some couches. But otherwise that's, or they're just couches sitting out in the middle of an alley. It's really hard to tell because there's no wall there. There's no border wall. So it almost just looks like here's the street. Here's a graded sidewalk. Here's a couch and stuff sitting out in an alley. Yeah, really odd. Here is the Lazarus pit for Ra's al Ghul. I kind of like that. There's a little like hazardous of a pit, and then there's the little like crate over there. We do have another cave that goes with that for the League of Assassins, where he has 4 different entrance and exit points, plus a chair in the middle. You just kind of see that like Ra's just sitting there waiting for everyone to show up or whatever. Then we have another just generic room, the little table in there, little hideout. We have a rooftop with an alley below. This should definitely be neat. The entire thing's are rooftops. It's all blue on the outside. So yeah, connecting this to like another street setting, like on the side, would mean, hey, then you could fall off the side of this building. Here's the inside of a jewelry store, good for a Catwoman stage, or just a heist of some sort. We have an apartment building. Maybe it's Bruce Wayne's, maybe not. There's no indication on who this possibly belongs to. Which, I mean, I get in the sense of that makes it like, oh, then anyone could use it. You could have this be like a hideout for some thugs, or you could have this be, you know, Nightwing's hangout, or whoever. Bullock's apartment, Gordon's apartment room, or something. But, like, I don't know, I guess I would have rather had something on the wall saying what this is supposed to be, and then you can just pretend outside of that versus having to pretend into it. Again, even like these newspapers, they keep putting these everywhere. It's the exact same newspaper. They could have made like 4 different designs and just changed them up. Even when you, especially when you have like 3 more here. But here we have another street with some corners. Again, these streets are really nice because they'll add in with playing with the Ninja Turtle stuff really well. Or vice versa, you can take their streets and add them here. Like some of the other stuff like might not make as much sense. Here we have a double rooftop. So we have a street with a building, another little rooftop, and the bat signal. So clear this is probably Gotham PD. It's kind of weird though that we don't have a bat signal until we get to the stretch goals. Like, even though this is part of the stage, it would have been, they should have had like this is like a square token available in the base set. You could have put on a different building. But that's just me. And then here's the other half of the bat cave. Because you see more bat items. You can sit here at the bat computer, which has random pictures on there. And then I'm guessing this is some sort of chair. So there's just not much going on in the bat layer in this game, particularly. But hey, new maps are new maps. They give us more scenarios. They give us more things to do, and we create our own. Alright, so let's jump in. Oh, we got one more item to look at, and then we can jump into the characters. They also gave us, I like how you can have 8 players, but they only give you 6 tokens for your bases. But the base sets are yellow, these ones are black. So this can now be, and I stated just in the base game, is I have other colors from other games. So it's kind of nice because that way you could use these for player 1 can have black characters, or player 2 could have yellow characters. If you have other colors from other games, then you can split it up for player 3, player 4. Or heroes have yellow, bad guys have black, maybe just to help quick differentiate them. Especially because unless you're going to paint them, or until you paint them, they're all a bunch of gray blobs. So, alright. Let's now jump into our actual characters. If they have a brand new mini, I will definitely pull it out. Otherwise, we're not going to. I'm not going to go dig out the old ones from another set. So, this set, Stretch Goals, adds a playable Detective Bullock. So now you can actually play him with Gordon as a separate character versus just having him be a support. So that way you can have 3 people playing. And there is also a Montoya in here as well. So that means someone could play Gordon, one person could play Bullock, and one person could play Montoya. And you could play as the Gotham City Police versus just one person controlling them as a team. Plus it also frees up some of Gordon's skill cards to use some of his other stuff. Alright, so here we go. Cover fire. Gotham City Police Department figures within 2 spaces of Bullock roll +1 battle dice when defending. This makes me laugh because in the all-in box when they had you could play Gordon as a villain, as an AI villain, they just shortened it to GCPD. So I was like, I get it, because that's what it's referred to a lot, like up here. But I was like, but when there's only this much space, you have all this open, I'm like, why didn't they just type it out like everything else so it fits with all the rest of the stuff? Alright, but any Bears in game +1 battle dice when defending. And then it's going to have his symbol on the back. Let's look at his cards. He has Back Off Bats. If no Bat family figures in 3 spaces of Bullock, he may reroll his battle dice for free when attacking and defending instead of spending focus. Cleaning the street. Each time Bullock knocks down or KOs an enemy figure, he regains 1 focus. Commanding Officer. Add the Beat Cop hero sheet to the play area. Add 1 Beat Cop figure to the battle. On his turn, Bullock may activate 1 Beat Cop on the map. Time to get answers. Bullock may interrogate an enemy figure, rolling 2 battle dice. If successful, Bullock receives 1 focus. He may regain or give to an adjacent friendly figure. He has tough. When making a defense roll, his bullet counts double hits as blocks. And who needs Batman? Bullock makes an attack +2 melee strike that moves target directly one space for each double hit rolled. Alright, our next hero is Entragon. Gone, form of man. Here comes Entragon. I think I said that right. Entragon's an interesting demon character. He's normally Jason Blood, who's kind of like a quasi-magician sorcerer. But then he can trade forms with Entragon. So he doesn't become Entragon. It's not really like a Bruce Banner Hulk thing, where he becomes the monster, even though the monster is sort of independent. He literally trades spaces with him. Like, Entragon comes to Earth, Jason Blood goes to Hell. And then Entragon is other. Entragon is also an interesting character because he doesn't have to. It's not like it's the only thing, but he always speaks in rhymes. There's occasional times when he won't. But it's kind of like his demon thing, like the ranking of his demonish. He's like a rhyme demon. So I don't know how often that's showing in the comic books or in the cartoon stuff or affected in this, but that's what it is. So we have Entragon is not affected by slow, rough, or harmful terrain. So he has bounce back. Entragon leaps up to 3 spaces in a straight line, then may make an attack of +2 melee strike. Fire Blast. Pay 1 focus. Entragon's next range strike does not weaken for up to 4 spaces. It burns if hits. Ice Blast. Pay 1 focus. Entragon's next ranged strike does not weaken for 4 spaces and entangles if hits. It would have been cooler if it... cooler, pun unintended, if he put the cold icon on, which just slows their movement. I get entangled, but it would have been kind of neat if he would have had the cold icon. Inferno. Entragon makes +2 range strike to hit all enemy figures as well as targeted figure. Magical Barrier. When active, Entragon blocks enemy figures on a sight to friendly figures. He may not be targeted by ranged attacks, including under fire. In addition, double hits count as double blocks when defending. And Teleport. Move Entragon to an empty space on the map. So it's also neat about Entragon here is I mentioned in the All-in Big Box set when talking about Mr. Freeze being a hero, his ice attacks and like Firefly having fire attacks. It's like that'd be really cool to make this type of system for like Marvel characters is what I thought. So I was thinking like Iceman and Human Torch. But even like Justice League and stuff, but I was like, overall their superpowers may be too powerful. But you just look at this. He has an ice attack, a fire attack, teleport, a shield. Like, you could definitely make these things. You just have to... They would be more powerful if every character had these type of attacks. So like fighting like henchmen wouldn't happen like as much. They wouldn't be as powerful. Let's look at Entragon's miniature. There we got Entragon. I always liked him as a character myself. Here we have the Grey Ghost, which is like a precursor to Batman in this series. He's like a 1940s pulp hero, and Batman would be like more like the current superhero version. Friendly heroes next to Grey Ghost do not need to pay focus to reroll their battle dice. Adaptable Adventure. Select 3 gadget cards from the supply and add them to your hand. Remove this card from the game. So he doesn't have utility belt, but this at least lets him use some gadgets. Case of the Mad Bomber. At the end of the round, skip the bomb tick down step. If there are no active bombs in the battlefield, instead, regain 1 focus. At the start of Grey Ghost's next turn, remove this card from the game. Deducing Detective. Used only when there are no enemy figures adjacent to Grey Ghost. Grey Ghost may make an investigate or defuse a bomb for free. If successful, If he successfully defuses a bomb, he regains all his focus. Hulk villain. Grey Ghost makes an attack of +3 range strike that does not weaken for the first 4 spaces. Pulp Pulverizer. Grey Ghost leaps up to 3 spaces in a straight line and then may make an attack of melee 2. And finally, the Titular Team Up. At the start of the battle, choose another hero that is also part of the battle. It's kind of sad that you have to mention that. Grey Ghost, while he's adjacent to that hero, he may reroll his battle dice for free. This is not counted as a focus reroll. Plus, with his ability, anyone next to them can also reroll theirs for free. Alright, so let's see what Grey Ghost looks like, if I can find him. There is our Grey Ghost miniature. He got his glasses on, his cool cape. Our next hero is Officer Montoya, who we've already seen before. We've seen her figure, in the base set. Relentless Zeal. Friendly Gotham City Police Department figures within 2 spaces of Montoya roll 1 battle die when attacking. Brilliant Marksmanship. While this card is active, Montoya's range strikes do not weaken for the first 4 spaces. In addition, she may reroll her battle dice for free once per ranged attack. Dependable. When rolling to heal or awaken a friendly adjacent figure to Montoya, roll 1 battle dice and may reroll for free. I think this is one of the first or very few times I've seen someone that has an ability that helps heal. Like, doesn't just heal themselves or heal someone next to them, but it's actually for healing abilities or awakening. It's kind of neat. Determination. When this card is active, Montoya receives +1 to remove, attack, and defend attributes. At the start of the next turn, pay 2 focus to keep this card or remove it from the game. I've got your back. Montoya adds a beat cops, adds 1. During a set phase, she places the beat cop in a free space adjacent to her. Firearm Proficiency. Play this card after Montoya makes a range strike. Montoya may repeat the range strike against the same or a different enemy figure rolling the same number of dice. So that's great. Like, you can build up a bunch of dice, and also now you can make 2 attacks. Plus Sharpshooter here may make a +3 range strike that does not weaken for the first 5 spaces. And Up and Coming. Montoya may perform a special action at the end of her turn for free and rolls +2 battle dice when making focus checks. Alright, our next hero is Supergirl. It's an interesting addition. I would assume that at some point Superman had appeared in this series before Supergirl. But, hey, nonetheless, it's an extra little cool character we get. Because, again, maybe they were planning on doing a Superman set later, and this is sort of like their jumping to it. Alright, so she has Powerhouse. Supergirl may make a special action to swap 1 of her skill cards for a card not currently active in battle. In addition, if Supergirl has no focus when attacking, she considers double hit icons she rolls blank. So this is kind of her not being able to control her massive power. So if she has no focus, if she only has 2, that means all her doubles are misses because she's trying to attack too hard or whatever. I thought originally they had a mechanic for her that was that if she KO'd someone, like overkilled them, like maybe they just decided to reduce her power. But I thought there was originally, like during the campaign, that it was if she did like to go against her super strength, is basically like if the guy has 2 health and she does 4 damage, she loses the game or she's out, because that means she literally murdered someone. Like, I thought there was a thing like that, so she couldn't overpower, but maybe they just reduced her attack power and stuff so she falls in line. Supergirl's next range strike doesn't weaken for the first 3 spaces and entangles for every double hit she rolls. Flight. Supergirl receives +1 move and gains the flying trait. Pay 1 focus. If Supergirl moves through friendly figures, she may place one of them adjacent to her after her move action. Heat Vision. Supergirl's next range strike doesn't weaken for the first 4 spaces. It shows at least 2 double hits. The defending figure is burned. Invulnerable. Is not affected by harmful terrain, may not be put under fire, and receives 1 defense. Pay 1 focus. Cancel the instant effect of the plague card. She has a lot of pay focus, which then mess with her other cards as well. Super Strength. Supergirl may target a door or a space of blocking terrain and make a melee strike. If she rolls at least 4 hits, open the door or place a broken wall token on the target. Pay 1 focus. Supergirl rolls +1 battle die when making melee strikes. And X-Ray Vision. In cooperative mode, when drawing initiative, reveal the top 3 cards. Play 1 card and return 1 to the top and the other to the bottom. Or competitive, pay 1 focus. The villain must reveal their hand and select 1 card and place it into the discard. The villain may not draw another card. So again, kind of with the entry game thing. Now you can see how some of the different actual superpowers might work. Alright, so here's our last superhero, is Zatanna. If you're not familiar with Zatanna, she is a magician who can basically do anything, with 2 limitations. 1, she cannot directly affect organics, or, well, I guess she can affect organics in humans. I thought that was one of her weaknesses. I don't think she can, straight up, kill people. She can do stuff that affects them, but she can't, change people. She can't, straight up, kill someone or, change them into something else. She can't molecularly change things. She can, tell someone to stop and they have to stop. Or she can teleport them somewhere, but she can't actually, physically change them, I believe. Her other thing is she speaks backwards. And she has to speak backwards to use her spells. So if her voice somehow gets cut off, she can't cast any spells. So for her, her version type is called Gab Faux Skirt, or Bag of Tricks. And then depending on what version of her reading, this one, each word is backwards. Other ones, it's just the entire sentence is backwards. So, sometimes in the comics, it would be trick. She'd have to say it trick of bags, but the entire spelling and stuff is backwards, too. It just depends on who's writing it or who read how to do what. So all her spells or all her cards are going to have backwards names. Says during her turn, Zatanna may choose up to 2 spaces that are within 3 spaces of herself in her line of sight. Place a smoke token on each of them. At the start of her next turn, remove the smoke token so she can poof. So she has the old switcheroo, and I'm not just really good at reading that. It is listed right there. Choose a figure within 2 spaces of Zatanna in her line of sight. Zatanna swaps places with that figure. This skill can be used more than once by paying its cost. The Grand Finale. Zatanna regains all her focus, may play more than one skill card this turn, then remove this card from the game. Smoke and Mirrors. While this card is active, each time Zatanna suffers a wound from an attack, roll 1 battle die per wound suffered. Reduce the wounds by 1 for each block or double hit you roll. Baffle them with choose a villain figure within 3 spaces of Zatanna and in her line of sight. That figure makes an attack hit +1 strike against itself or any one figure adjacent to it. Vanishing Act. Move Zatanna to an empty space on the map. She cannot move again this turn. And Zatara's Secrets. So Zatara is her father. Zatanna may spend focus to remove all status tokens from herself or an adjacent friendly figure. Alright, on to the villains. First up, we have Condiment King. And I'm going to do the same thing I did in the big box set. And like Arkham, is I'm going to go through their competitive mode, and then I'll re-go back through the AI afterwards, just so I don't have to keep flipping them all over twice. So Condiment King is one of the goofy villains I have. You have mustered up strength. So here's this little miniature. He says, if Condiment King rolls at least one double hit when attacking an enemy figure, they receive one sauce token. Sauce. Figures are sauce, suffer move, -1, and roll -1 battle dice per sauce token when defending. Sauce tokens may be removed by affected figure or an adjacent figure by making a special action. So his cards are, do you need more time? Costs 2 focus for an enemy to reroll their battle dice when attacking or defending against Condiment King. Now you're in a jam. It takes 2 blocks to cancel each hit from Condiment King. Try to catch up. Condiment King deals 1 additional sauce token when dealing sauce tokens. Assault and Battering. Just a bunch of extra moves. Peppered up. The Condiment King may only make a single melee strike that if hits, burns an additional to dealing wounds. And Relish the Victory. Condiment King regains life equal to the hits rolled on 2 battle dice. So definitely a little bit interesting. Up next, our cool thing is we have a bad version of Entragon. So if you watched the all-in box with the villain upgrade, you'll notice Entragon was missing. That's because he has a villain version in this box. The same way like Phantasm had 2 in hers. And Clayface also had a hero and a villain version in the Arkham set. So here he has Branded. It's just different. He has a little red mark on him. When activating Entragon with Desperation, he instead reads 3 wild actions instead of 1. Inferno. Entragon may make only a single ranged strike that hits all enemy figures adjacent to his target as well. Magical Barrier. Entragon may not be a target of ranged attacks. In addition, double hits count as blocks when defending. Teleport. When played, move Entragon to an empty space on the map. Enhanced Durability. I love how all these cards have the same artwork. They just added that little, like, M on there. Just kind of makes me laugh. So he has Enhanced Durability, which says... Sorry, I am looking up a thing here quick. I was trying to look up what Desperation did. And of course, because I want to find something, I can never actually find it. Alright, we found it. Alright. Because it's the only character I've seen so far that's actually referenced it. Entragon regains life equal to the hits rolled on 2 battle dice. Fire Blast, Entragon, range strikes do not weaken for up to 4 spaces. If they hit, they cause burn in addition to wounds. And finally, Ice Blast. Entragon's range strikes do not weaken for up to 4. If they hit, entangled 1 per wound suffered. So, Desperation activation. If the villain desperately needs to activate a certain villain figure, they may play a villain ability card face down Desperation. This enables a villain player to activate any one figure they control with 2 actions, and they discard as many cards as they wish from their hand. Yeah, so it's basically saying, like for like Entragon here, like, I really need Entragon to attack this turn, and I don't have an Entragon card. Or I already used one, and I need him to attack again to finish someone off, because nobody else is close. You can discard a different card, or play one of your other cards face down so you lose that card, but then you can use it. And it's just saying here he gets, 3 instead of 1, even though the book just said 2. So 3 instead of 1 is definitely good, but 3 instead of 2 is kind of like meh. Alright, anywho, our next villain is Livewire. So there's Livewire. And I don't know where she goes. Back in the box. There she is. Charged up. Place 5 charge token on Livewire sheet. Charge side up. When she performs an attack, flip a charge token to its discharge side. When charged, Livewire assumes 1 attack and 1 defense, and may make melee strikes against figures up to 5 spaces away. Livewire may spend non-defense icons to flip 2 charge tokens back to their charge side. So every time she attacks, she has to flip one over. And while she has them, she has bonuses. So she's going to have to kind of play around between keeping that bonus if she wants to, like, has to keep at least 1 charge open. High voltage. This turn, Livewire may only make a single melee strike that, if charged, stuns additional into dealing wounds. Recharge. Gains life equal to the hits rolled on 2 battle dice. In addition, she regains 1 charge for every block rolled. Take the initiative. So this is actually interesting because the villain's upgrade version of this card, Ivy, is actually white. And this one, she's yellow. I think later series they started making her like pasty white instead, and I'm not really sure why. So that's kind of interesting, because it's the same artwork, so why is one color and one the other? I'm not sure. Well active, the villain player takes their turn first, followed by the hero. Double zap. Livewire may spend 1 additional charge to repeat an attack against a new target, rolling the same number of battle dice. Paralyze. This turn, defending enemy receives 1 stun token for each double hit rolled by Livewire. And static. Livewire counts as 3 figures on the purpose of breaking away and awakening. Also interesting with this version versus the hero version is the hero version also uses the 5 tokens and gains the bonus and all that stuff. I think it's almost the exact same wording. But a lot of her cards have her using charge tokens. It's kind of surprising that the villain version doesn't force her to use it. So she's going to keep that bonus a lot more, because she's only using it for attacks. Whereas the hero version is going to do a lot of other specialty things by burning out them tokens quicker. Here we have Mighty Mom. Again, they added some of their goofier characters. Like, she even got her spatula, she's got her broom. A lot more unaffiliated characters in this set versus the Arkham characters. So, Rolling Pin. The villain player may draw from the villain deck or the top of the discard pile when refilling their hand. She's got Clean Sweep, which says, if Mighty Mom deals at least 1 wound to an enemy figure, they suffer 2 additional battle dices of wounds. Naughty Boy. If Mighty Mom deals at least 1 wound to an enemy figure, they are also entangled 3. No toys in the house. Enemy figures within 2 spaces of Mighty Mom may not play gadgets. Happy Homemaker. Mighty Mom regains life equal to hits rolled on the 2 battle dice. I don't do windows. Mighty Mom may only make a single melee strike that also hits all enemy figures adjacent to the defending figure. Plus she gets 3 fists down there. Not to clean floor. Enemy figures within 2 spaces of Mighty Mom may only target Mighty Mom. Alright, another really odd character, Pack Rat. Shows him holding his bag on him. And I'm not sure where there he is. Alright, so he's also a little bit different for the fact that Oh, he does have 6 cards. So yeah, he has all 6 cards. But he has some different variations on 6 cards. So he has Hoarder. At any time before rolling battle dice, Pack Rat may discard a gadget card to receive 1 attack or 1 defenseless attack. Pack Rat may also discard more than 1 card per attack, and may also discard gadget cards as substitutes for focus to reroll his battle dice. So he has 2 copies of I Want It. It says if Pack Rat deals at least 2 wounds to an enemy, they must give him 1 random gadget card. If the enemy figure doesn't have a gadget card, he takes 1 from the supply. And then he has Oh No You Don't. At the start of Pack Rat's turn, take 2 gadget cards from the supply. So yeah, he can basically, before rolling, he can discard cards to gain bonus, but he's going to keep stealing all these gadgets. So then for his blue cards, he also has 2 more that are I Want It, which have the same effect. And he has Never Rat on a Rat. Pack Rat regains life equal to hits rolled on 2 battle dice. Yeah, she's definitely an odd little character. Even the hero version only had actual 3 cards. This one, he technically, again, only has 3 cards. So he doesn't get all the range everyone else gets. We have Ras Al Ghul, Society of Shadows character. First one we've had in this set, other than like the hero version. The Demon's Head. Ras Al Ghul may spend his wild actions to draw a card. And he's like the one got miniature. I did not pull it ahead of time, apparently. Because I don't see him. Oh, I did pull him out. I'm sorry, I got him confused for some reason. So there he is with his sword. All regal. Alright, his cards are Power of the Demon. He does not need to pay for focus to reroll his battle dice when attacking or defending. Strength of the Demon. Society of Shadow minion figures within 2 spaces of him receive 1 attack. Will of the Demon. Society of Shadow minions within 2 spaces of him will receive 1 defense. Lazarus Pit Rebirth. Discard all status tokens from him, regain life equal to his hits rolled on 5 battle dice. Then regain all your focus and place 3 stun tokens on him. Lifetime of Experience. Choose attack, defense, or move. While this card is active, he's +2 to the attribute you choose and +1 to the other 2. And finally, Ultra Instinct. After an enemy figure attacks Ra before wounds are dealt, Ra makes an attack of the same power back at the figure that attacked him. If the attacking figure does not block at least 1 hit, he receives no wounds. Then we have the Red Claw. Powerful Leader. Red Claw treats double hits as triples when making melee strikes and blocks when defending. Friendly henchman figures within 2 space of Red Claw roll +1 battle die. Crushing Kick. When making a melee strike for every double hit Red Claw rolls, you may move the defending figure 1 space. Make a Path. Place a broken wall token on a space blocking terrain of your choice, including a closed door. Stunning Blow. Red Claw's melee strikes deal 1 stun token if they hit, in addition to dealing wounds. Careful Planning. When played, draw 3 cards, regain 1 focus. Hurry Up. When the henchman figure spends a wild action on movement, that icon is considered a double move icon. And finally, Well Armed. Deal 5 battle dice of damage. 5 battle dice of hits to an enemy within 4 spaces in a line of sight of a henchman figure. This may be defended as usual. And then her miniature. She's like, brrr, get me. I'm gonna judo throw you. That's what she's gonna do. Nope, I think she goes over there. Alright, our next one is we have the opposite of Commissioner Gordon. We have Rupert Thorne. the mob boss. Pile on, boys. Once per round, you may play and resolve an additional card during your turn. So he goes, till you pop. When making melee strikes, Rupert counts double hits as triple hits. Eat leg bats. After moving, Rupert may place an enemy figure within 4 spaces of him in a line of sight under fire. Why you? Rupert regains life equal to hits rolled on 3 battle dice. Get 'em, you fools. Just gains a bunch of wild icons. And gotta get away. Rupert may remove one status token. While active, Rupert treats rough and slow terrain as harmful terrain instead. Interesting. So he's trying to get away so fast that he actually can't go through terrain. And then make him go away. When played, an enemy figure of your choice suffers 4 battle dice of hits from a hidden sniper. These hits may be defended as usual. Alright, our next villain is Talia al Ghul. Oh, we didn't look at Rupert. Sorry. There's Rupert Thorne. Then let's look at Talia quick, as long as we're making sure we're looking at figures. Batman's lover, ex-lover, I guess. Daughter of the Demon, daughter of Ra's al Ghul, but she's a Society of Shadows. Talia may spend her wild actions to discard up to 2 cards of choice from your hand. She has Beguiling. Talia may only make a single melee strike that, if hit, steals 1 focus in addition to dealing wounds. Focused Assassin. Talia does not need to pay focus to reroll her battle dice when attacking and defending. The Demon's Heir. If Talia is at least 3 spaces away from Ra's al Ghul, she receives 1 attack and 1 defense. Pinpoint Accuracy. Talia's range strikes do not weaken for the first 4 spaces, and it takes 2 blocks to cancel each hit, plus she has 3 ranged. Surprise Escape. Discard all status tokens from Talia, regain life equal to the hits rolled on 2 battle dice. And finally, Well Trained. When defending, Talia counts double hits as double blocks. Alright, that one goes there, that one goes there. Alright, so we have 2 more villains and 2 more, well, basically we have a bunch of minions. A bunch of minion henchmen. First off, we have Candace, who goes with Rupert Thorne generally. She says, line of sight cannot be drawn to Candace from further than 3 spaces away. So what's interesting about her is she only gets blue cards. So she has Disguise. So unlike other henchmen, like the thugs and the gunners and stuff, she actually gets shit. Well, they got cards too, but she only gets 3 cards, so she doesn't get a lot. Candace cannot be attacked. This card is from the queue if Candace attacks an enemy figure. She has Sneak Attack. Candace rolls +1 battle dice from making a melee strike if there's at least 1 other villain figure adjacent to the defending figure. And then she has Wild Rage. Candace rolls +1 battle die when ranged or melee strikes. And then her complement, which I'll show off both of these guys in a second, they're miniatures, is we have Frankie, the itchy trigger finger. When making range strikes, double hits count as triple strikes. So he has Run and Gun. After moving, Frankie may place an enemy figure within 4 spaces, line of sight, under fire. Spray and Pray. Frankie's range strikes target all enemy figures in his line of sight. And You're Going Down. Frankie may treat ranged actions as melee icons instead. So it's kind of neat. They each get 3 of them. So there's Frankie, and there's Candace. And they just, yeah, they're Rupert Thorne's little henchmen. And I dropped Candace in the wrong spot. Luckily, I pulled her out. Alright, so our last 2 we have is, of course, we have a Shadow Assassin. to go with the Rosh and Talia Al Ghul. League of Assassins. You may Desperation a card to spawn a Shadow Assassin adjacent to another Society of Shadows figure. Ugh. So they're not very health. They only have 4 health. They're not going to last very long. But you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So they're meant, like, as opposed to some of the regular thugs, they're meant to stay out for. They die quick, but you're able to summon them back pretty fast with that special attack. Death Blow. The Shadow Assassin is activated to melee make a single melee strike. Fortitude. When played, each Shadow Assassin regains 1 life. Plus, you can activate 3 of them with a bunch of defense. Strength in numbers. Shadow Assassins receive +1 die to range strikes if they're adjacent to another Society of Shadow figure. Nimble. While active, Shadow Assassins may activate more than once per turn. And lots of these, you'll let 3 of them all attack at the same time. So, yeah, you gang them up on people is what they're supposed to do. Silent Strike. After any figure completes an action, you may discard a card from the queue to immediately have a Shadow Assassin perform an attack +3 melee strike and vanish. Enemy figures treat Shadow Assassins as if they're obscuring terrain. And then our last card, our last one is Naksha and Shaka, the Polar Bears. So these are minions for Mr. Freeze. And again, they did the same thing I like what they did with like Bud and Lou, is they gave them 2 different poses. So one's just kind of up and roaring, one has a claw. And I like that they gave them different poses because it's supposed to be 2 different characters. As opposed to like Ivy's plants, who are just more or less like, well, one plant's a plant to plant. This one's like, they can kind of reference one or the other. So here we have Nachaka and Shaka treat double hits as blocks. They do not need to break away and ignore slow terrain and receive 1 move on icy terrain. Alright, then their cards are Barely a Mouthful. Choose either of them. Activate. The activated Polar Bear regains life equal to the hits rolled on a battle dice. Bear Hug. When active, figures adjacent to them treat each of them as 4 figures for breakaway purpose. Seal Breath. Choose either of them. All enemy figures adjacent to the Polar Bear receive 1 stun token. Imagine being a beat cop and you run into a Polar Bear. Rear Back. Choose either of them. Activated Polar Bear cannot attack the same enemy figure more than once. Slam. Choose either. The active Polar Bear can melee make a single melee strike. Every block target rolls in defense and counts as a block. You can see all their things down here say one or the other, which is also what their cards are saying. Choose one. This activated Polar Bear's melee strike hits all enemy figures adjacent to defending figure. So now the other thing you'd have to decide when you're playing with these guys is, because down here their activation is, one of them gets, like for this card, gets a movement and an attack, and then another any figure gets random. Now, you have to decide if you choose Shaka for this ability, does this also have to be Shaka, or can you do this which says Shaka does this and then Nachaka does this? Because they're all basically saying or, so you can choose whichever one you want to do, but then almost all the cards tell you to choose one or the other. So I guess that would be something you just have to decide at the beginning of the game and then do that. Alright, so we are going to quickly whip through the AI versions. I don't want to spend a ton of time on them. So we have Condiment King, Mustered Up Strength. Each time Condiment King deals at least 1 wound, they receive a sauce token. Condiment King targets enemy figures with the most sauce tokens, even though it says that. And then that's what sauce does. We've already read that. Entragon's bad version, branded. If Entragon can't reach optimal strike, changes to range 4. If Entragon deals at least 2 wounds to an enemy figure during this turn, that figure receives 1 cold token. If he deals 4 or more, they also receive a burn. Entragon is not affected by slow, rough, or harmful terrain. Livewire, she gets her 5 charge counters. Hit attribute based on the number of charge icons on her sheet. So up here she has a star. Livewire suffers a wound, flip your charge card to its discharge size. Once all Livewire charge counters are discharged, she spends her entire next turn to flip them all to her charge side. So she has 5 attack, but then every time she gets wound, it goes down. And then once it finally gets down to 0, it resets. So you might want to get her down to like 1 and then just leave her alone unless you can finish her off. Mighty Mom, rolling pin. If Mighty Mom deals at least 2 wounds to an enemy figure during her turn, that figure either receives 1 stun token or may lose 1 focus. When defending, if Mighty Mom would suffer only 1 wound from an attack, she instead suffers no wounds. Pack Rat, who's the Hoarder. If Pack Rat deals at least 2 wounds to an enemy figure during his turn, he steals 1 random non-constant skill card from the attacking figure. If Pack Rat is attacked by a melee strike and the attacking figure rolls 3 or more blocks, he steals 1 random constant skill card from the attacking. If he is KO'd, return all stolen cards. That could just be an annoyance. Alright, Raish Al Ghul, the Demon's Head. After an enemy figure attacks Raz, or Raish, before wounds are dealt, Raish makes an attack action back at the figure that attacked him, even if it was a ranged attack. If the figure does not block at least 1 hit, he receives no wounds. So he could be hard to take out, especially at 4 defense, 18 health. Red Claw, powerful leader. If there are more than 4 henchman figures on the map, all henchmen receive 1 hit. If there are less than 4, they receive 1 block. Rupert Thorn, pile on boys. Henchman figures within 2 spaces receive 1 hit. Rupert may not be targeted by an enemy figure while a henchman is adjacent to him. Talia Al Ghul, Daughter of the Demon. If Talia can't reach optimal strike, it changes to 4 range. Talia receives block +2 when defending against melee strike, and Society of Shadow minions within 2 spaces receive +1 block. Candace has Fade into the background. Line of sight cannot be drawn to Candace from further than 3 spaces away. Itchy trigger finger for Frankie. If Frankie makes 2 or more attack actions in his turn, that figure is now under fire. The Shadow Assassin. League of Assassins. If Shadow Assassin can't reach optimal strike, it becomes 3 range. Shadow Assassins ignore slow and rough terrain. And finally, Nechaka and Shaka, the Polar Bears. Their melee strikes also hit all enemy figures adjacent to the defending figure. If an enemy figure suffers 2 wounds from either of them, the breakaway cost for that figure is doubled until their next turn, and they are not affected by slow terrain and receive +1 move on ice. Alright, so that was all of our heroes, all of our villains. So we have a couple more cards to go through. Really quick, we're just going to jump through all the initiative cards. They did mess up Grey Ghost on here, which I find kind of funny. Our second Entragon. And I'm going to run out of room on here, and one last Shadow Assassin. I do like that the Polar Bears, it's 1 for each. They didn't, yeah, they could have made like 1 for one, 1 for the other. But then again, that would have made your cards, like, I mean, for activation, you would have really had to try and remember which was which. Alright. We got a couple of allies here. So we have some mountain lions. So we get 2 mountain lion miniatures. They're the same ones, so it's unlike Bunlu and Akaka because they have just generic name. They're the same thing. But this says, I'm going to see if I can scroll in enough we can actually read this. No, maybe not. Let me back it up and I'll see if I can just bring it closer. It says, it's really small text, so it says, at the start of the battle, place Mountain Lion in an empty space adjacent to a hero. Once per round, a hero may commanded, mess that up, the Mountain Lion as a support hero. Any hero may choose to command them, but they'll only be commanded once per round. Adjacent figures to Mountain Lion treat them as 2 figures when breaking away. The Mountain Lion's attributes are 4 move, 2 attack, 3 defense, 4 life. I don't know what episode the heroes get Mountain Lions to help them out, but that's definitely an interesting card. We also have Alfred Pennyworth, which we had an Alfred Pennyworth in the base set, who did some stuff. But here we have one that actually comes into play. And again, he has such small text. So let me try to see if I can hold it up here. At the start of the battle, place... Sorry. Place Alfred in an empty space adjacent to a hero. Once per round, a hero may commanded Alfred as a support hero. Any hero may choose to command them, but only once per round. Friendly figures within 2 spaces of Alfred receive 1 defense. 3 move, 1 attack, 3 defense, 5 life. Let me get a little Alfred miniature. So yeah, he was like a bonus for pre-ordering. Yeah, kind of neat. Again, the allies are meant to just jump in and make the game a little bit easier. We got a couple more cards to show up, but we want to show off this. So we have a few more bad guys. So these are the Enforcers. So there's 3 new sculpts for them. There are 3 new sculpts for the Hired Gun. And 3 new for the big guy. Which he might be the Enforcer, the other one might be called something else. But it's kind of neat. Neat to just have some different sculpts of some of the same characters. We also have 2 more beat cops with a little bit different pose. So this guy has a mustache as he's pointing. That's because there's a couple of cards that now say you can have up to 4 beat cops. So they made 2 more beat cops to go with that. But yeah, extra little minis and like henchmen and stuff are always nice. The last thing we have is a bunch of gadgets. So this is one of the social stretch goals. So like the other gadgets, there's 5 of each. So we got explosive batarangs. Place an explosive token on a space within 3 spaces of you and line of sight. At the end of the round, remove the explosive token from the map and replace it with a broken wall if it was placed on a space of blocking terrain. All figures adjacent to the explosive suffer 1 unblockable wound. I love that it's all figures. Because some of these attacks where they're like throwing gas or bombs, and it's like only enemy figures, and I'm like, but it should hit everybody. That's how tactics games work, which is what this is. It's essentially a tactics game because you're moving along a tile grid. And I love friendly fire. I mean, I don't like getting hit by it, but I like the concept of it for good guys or bad guys, because it really makes everyone have to watch what they're doing. You're not just like, I'm going to go throw this bomb. And it's good, yeah, but you might hit one of your adjacent friendly figures. It's like, can they afford that hit? Maybe, maybe not. Here we have the Bat Claw. Choose one and apply it to your next ranged strike this turn, in addition to dealing wounds. Move target figure 1 space towards you in a straight line, as if though you were leaping, for every successful hit. Or, target figure loses its flying trait until the end of round. So basically, you're either pulling a guy towards you for every hit, you're pulling him a little bit closer to you, or you can pull a flying guy down to the ground. We have zip line. Move up to 5 spaces in a straight line as if you were leaping, and enemy figures you move through suffer an attack of +2 melee strike. So you can like shoot a wall or something, zip straight forward, and do damage to guys you jump through, which is pretty fun. And then our final cards is the Inoculizer. Perform a successful inoculate action without spending an action or rolling battle dice. And I'm really happy they made this card because they have a couple of them Smilex ones, or even some of the Fear Toxins, where just having a card, like, okay, I don't have time to spend actions, or I don't have points, I can just play this and get rid of that gas. Especially at Smilex, because if it's versus a bystander, they only get 2 turns, and if it's versus a hero, they only get 3 turns, and then you lose the game. So having an extra card that you could prep for, knowing that's the scenario you're going to go do, makes that a lot more easier, accessible to do. And again, with anything in any games, it's your game. You're not playing this at a tournament or whatever. So you could even be like, no matter what, you're playing a game that has a gas, you could just say everyone with the utility belt automatically gets one of these. Or maybe put like an extra token on the ground somewhere, like as an antidote gun. Like, oh, if you pick it up, you get one of these. If the game is seeming too hard. That's just saying. Like, I love the fact that like they're your own games. Break the rules. Do what you want to do. Alright, so that was Batman the Animated Series, the stretch goals and exclusives. Hope you guys have enjoyed these videos. This is the last Batman one I'm doing. Check out the other 3 boxes. And then, yeah, hopefully I'll get like a better how to play video, or I'll get like some gameplay, maybe even attempt like a crossover to Ninja Turtles. One way or the other, maybe both ways. I would love to start doing some gameplay videos. I just gotta find the time and the better camera setup for it, because this camera is not gonna work for trying to record a big giant game. But yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye.